Greetings and welcome to WORX 2.0, the next chapter. And I'm saying that in reference to the video and post that I dropped last week about not taking any new work or any new customers in for a while until I get caught up on a lot of these long-term projects and until I take care of a lot of good customers that have been taking care of me for years that has things that need to be done. But anyway, that brings me to this project, and we'll go over all those other long-term projects individually with their own videos. But let's start here. Some of you remember this cool 1981 Harley Ironhead chopper project I had last year. And where we left off, I got the customer had brought it to me, and it was very unsafe for the road. So we took care of a lot of safety issues and some mechanical stuff. And I took it out for the first test ride, and the inspection plug blew out of the side of the engine here. I guess it was just loose because it wasn't stripped, unless the plug itself was stripped. I don't know where it went. Got a good plug in, went back out for a test ride. That's when the axle came loose. And we'll talk more about that, and I'll explain all that stuff, what we're gonna do there. So I had to nurse it back here, and well, that's kind of where we're at right now. But there's some other stuff we're gonna do to it that we're also gonna talk about. So let's start a little bit of a walk around and do a little more explanation, shall we? All right, folks, first things first, we'll do a little bit of a walk around. So for those who aren't acquainted with this project, Ironhead Patina project, we're going to talk more about what's going on here and what we got to do to fix it. Don't mind the mess. It's pretty chaotic. It's getting better. This camera has really been, it's probably going to stop on me. It's been really going crazy here lately. But you can see what we're working with here. Got the new inspection plug in there. And yeah, come on. And yeah, working good, holding good so far. And that's when I noticed the chain situation. We're going to talk about that, and then I'll go over what we're about to do and show you something cool. So yeah, once upon a time, somebody added this hardtail on here or custom built it or whatever they did. And they pretty much made up whatever this distance is back here for the axle. They just kind of made up their own thing. And well, you can't find a darn axle for this thing for nothing. So I got a company that's custom making us one. But so what somebody did, okay, this is what we're going with here, but obviously the axle is not long enough because there's no chain. Okay, let me back up. Let's go around the other side. Come on, camera. Let's hold on until we get this video done. So yeah, this is what we had on both sides. What they did was they tightened the axle all the way up and it wouldn't hold, and I'll show you why. And then instead of having an adjuster here, they just turned this bolt into the nut as hard as they could to try to hold the axle. The reason the axle wasn't tightened up is because they were out of thread, because it's not the right axle for this. And as you can see, hang on, I'm trying to gingerly work this camera. And if you can see, there's too much shoulder sticking out past the frame. So what was happening, most of you already figured it out, was they were tightening the nut up and there had a washer on there, but it wasn't tightened the axle to the frame. It just tightened the nut on the axle. And then they had that same bolt that they have on this side, right here. They just had that jammed against the axle to keep it from moving. But the first time I took it up that hill and started getting into it, I guess that old bolt that was flattened on the end or whatever gave just enough to let that thing kind of come forward, and the chain started skipping on the sprocket. That's how I noticed it. It was pretty bad, pretty noticeable. So anyway, I'm getting a custom axle made. It's taken forever, like everything else. Every time I call, they haven't started it. But, and then, so the axle will stick out more like it's supposed to. We'll have our adjusters back on here like they're supposed to work. And voila, we got that problem solved. Oh, and just so the keyboard jockeys don't get me, just to be clear, I'm going to have shoulder coming out further, okay? And then that allows this diameter, this 3/4, will be sitting on the shoulder, and then I'll have thread out here to tighten it up. So it won't look like this bolt at all. We'll have some shoulder. Come on, camera. So yeah, we'll have some shoulder sticking out, so this won't be like that, because I know people are probably freaking out already. Hit them keyboards. Hopefully everything works out all right. But yeah, what I wanted to show you was, and you heard me talk about this before, that the customer actually has a tank that matches these fenders with that strip on it, but it was really bad shape, rusty and all that. So they just threw this old Sportster tank on here for the time being to get it running and riding and whatever. Well, he finally brought me the tank. Let's take a look. All right, so here's that tank, man, that I was talking about. Ain't that cool? That's just old school cool. But that tank is not cool. Stand by. Okay. Yeah, she's pretty crusty, unfortunately. The inside's toast. The neck is loose from rust. It's just, I believe we're just a little too far gone. But isn't that a shame? Look at that strip down the center. Old school pinstriping. Would that not look cool on there? Oh, you agree? Okay, well, that brings us to the next thing. What we're thinking now is let's just try to somewhat replicate that for now. I might even try to get that strip off, and we'll see what we can do. And let's just do that to this tank for now. Because he was just going to let, if you can see here, obviously, just going to let this rust. And we thought about go ahead and make it rust more and just leave it that way. But then we thought, yeah, that other tank would look so good matching the fender. So we started going that route. So now we're at the point where we're going to go ahead and paint this thing, get a little bit of pinstriping done on it, try to, you know, it don't have to be exact, but yeah. So what I was saying is just basically kind of replicate like an old school pinstripe look like it's on that tank. It don't have to be exact, but something really close. I'm going to find out if I can easily mount that strip or not. I don't know. Hello. Come on, camera. Oh, this camera has been wigging out on me big time lately. We originally were just going to let this thing patina or kind of help it along and advance the patina. Just let it be rusty until he told me he had a tank that matched these fenders. And then I was like, oh, that's what's got to go on here, you know. And he showed me a picture of it. And he said, but the inside's pretty bad. I said, bring it over, we'll fix it. Well, like I was saying, yeah, we're going to kind of replicate that onto this tank here somewhat. That's what we like to do. And then that's going to look brand new and pop like crazy and not really fit, you know, the patina as much anymore. So what we decided is also I'm going to go ahead and redo the red on these wheels, and that will pop and the tank will pop. It'll kind of bring it together. That's the idea right now, folks. You know how it is. These are always ongoing jobs. And yeah, it's always a work in progress. So who knows what else we decide to change or whatever. But yeah, it's just a cool little Ironhead project. All right, folks, let's do a cold start here. Engine's cold, but the temperature's not that cold. A little choke. Let me jump on the other side. All right, guys, what a cool little bike, huh? Yeah, that gives you an idea of what we need to do and what we're going to do and what have you. And this just, like I say, this is just one project. I've got, what, 3 other Harleys in here. And then the other guy wants to get another one going as well. So I got a ton of things to do. You'll see that stuff on other videos, separate videos of each project. But that gives you an idea on this one. So yeah, man, I got to get off here and get to work so we can get this thing going. I got to get the tank off, get it prepped, get the wheels, get them prepped. You know, a lot of work to do yet. And then we'll have a little, I'll do some video during the process, but then we'll have a nice reveal video and we'll get some riding on it again and what have you. So stay tuned for that. And peace out.